Yeah, very nice.
Thank you. 159, I think. But the others all they're we embroider on the back of each one. Well, let them learn. Actually, I have my artist on staff.
So they sandcast in 2 pieces.
So that I've been stuff that's just manufactured stuff. Rather prints it, ask people to order one, and package. I really didn't know it was
Right. Hey everybody, I just want to say thanks so much for coming. And tonight our featured artist is Christy Bishop, who you may or may not remember, years ago had a fabulous shop called Found Object. What was it called? Provenance. Provenance, down where Letterhead was and now the Eco Sleep Solutions is. So I've known Christy a long time. She's an amazing interior designer. And basically she got this wild hair to start this pillow line, and I've been thrilled with it. So it's fine, and we dabble in it. We carry a few of her pillows here and there. And so for the art walk, I thought, Christy, why don't you come in and talk to people about how you design pillows and why you decide to pick an image. And so just as an example, she brought this painting in that you can see here that she then used to make this pillow. And I just think it's really cool. These are old family photographs she used of her family in Europe in the 60s. She has a whole series of those. So you can see it's a really extensive line, and I'm going to let Christy talk more about it. And feel free to ask questions too.
Yes, please do. Thank you all for coming. What you're looking at is the result of all my obsessions. And I've been an interior designer for 30 years, and like many people, gotten really just burnt out on manufactured stuff. And I had the opportunity to start printing on fabric, and that's what really got this going. So it's a combination of things I've collected, old art I've collected, things like the old book plates that are mainly 18th century, 19th century. I love portraits of women, and there's another one sitting over on that green chair. And these all came from, antique portraits that I just find or own. Jewel mentioned
These are my favorites. Of all the ones that Christy does, these are my absolute favorites. I think they're kind of sophisticated. I'm not sure exactly, where would you put this, Christy?
And kind of a little industrial, right? That's actually my mother on that one. And if you used to come to Provenance for First Friday, my mother, who's now 84, used to serve. She did, speaking of 84 consecutive First Fridays where she catered and served wine, and I don't know, she's worn out now, but no, these are slides that our family had that my parents took in 1959 to 62, and we've been selling nationwide to just really special shops like this one, and these have been kind of wonderful. I actually, that one she's holding up, I just built a bedroom around.
Oh, great! In a bedroom, I can totally see this.
And it actually was just with just white linens and then that pillow on a bed, and it was exciting. And I just find they give a sense of kind of authenticity and meaningfulness. Is that a word? Meaningfulness. And they're kind of cool. It's a little bit Mad Men meets, I don't know, European, a little industrial, a little
romantic.
bit. Yeah, that one that I was just saying I built the room about, that is at the Sacré-Cœur in Paris. my mother remembers the moment that they took this photo. She said it was all these young girls, and she said you would think you would hear giggling, but she said there wasn't a sound. It was like angels walking by. So it's meaningful.
Here's another fave. It's from that European collection. And I love this one because it got me.
Well, you have to really look at that. If you look down on the right, you see the women looking up at the Venus de Milo and looking a little stricken. And if you look down at the left, the men are all grabbing for their cameras and kind of in a blur. I actually have another shot that I want to do that's of the same area, but it is a blonde woman who looks like Tippi Hedren standing to the side, about 8 months pregnant, and looking up at her. And I don't know, my father in particular had a thing for old cars and people and
people. I like this because it's people looking at art.
Yeah.
And that's the art.
Yeah, there's one here of Venice that's anyway, they're kind of like, you need to come up and take a look, and you'll kind of get it. I just introduced a series of, when I said this is about my obsessions, I meant it, because last year I was working on family genealogy, and I started digging around in my great-grandmother's boxes of stuff nobody had ever looked at, and finding old tintypes and old negatives, and I mean, that's actually my great-grandfather, and why he has a badge and a gun and a horse, I don't know. Nobody knows, but it's kind of, I know, he's a dude.
He's the dude.
But many of these are taken in Oregon, you know, but the couple here on the beach is actually my grandparents at Bandon on their honeymoon.
Wow, I love it.
My sense is that this stuff is kind of universal. You know, we have done some custom things for people, but the other part of this is that it's all about things that are gone and people who would want to be remembered, and
An art form in itself.
I think I don't know, I think they're special, and the beauty of this line has been I can do what I love and I'm obsessed with, and if people love it, awesome. The portraits of women are a big deal for me, and so that's a whole family.
All the portraits that then you've made into images, or like what's the whole law about that? I'm just curious.
You know, anything pre-1922 is basically public domain, so I do look for things that are older. So that's kind of the bottom line. Right, I go online, I go to antique stores, I have some pickers, different places that I've worked with for a long time. Some of them like this I found with a guy that I've worked with before, and I thought that'd be a great pillow, so I bought it and made a pillow and framed it, and it'll find a home someday.
Does
Probably
your
with
mom touch that she's on one of your art pillows?
She likes it pretty well. She acts like she's embarrassed a little, but no, I think she likes it. It's pretty fun. Anyway, so it's just a variety of things. This is about a third of all the images that we do, and I actually have catalogs here that show the whole line and can give you a little more of an idea of it. I will make an announcement. This is pretty cool. We just got word from the Frick Collection in New York that they are going to be having us do custom pillows for them. So that was a pretty big deal. Yeah. They're doing we've actually sampled one for them. You'd know the image. It's on a, I can't think of the maker, but it's a 18th century China bouquet. You'd know the image, and it's something in their thing. So we worked with it, and it's really pretty, if I do say so. But anyway, so it's exciting for a little startup company in Eugene, Oregon.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And the other thing that hasn't been mentioned, so of all the beautiful and familiar artwork with Christy, literally her family on this, that you could put your head on this and sleep on it and be imbued with the dreams and the memories. I know you couldn't sleep on one of these weekly boxes. You could get a paper out of it, but to put your head on it. This is a practical item that you know, if you put a book under your pillow and you sleep on it, I heard that you get imbued with all the knowledge. So you're going to get in touch with the lineage and the artistic dreams of Christy by using her pillows, right? I mean, they're for use, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much.
Whatever.
And
Thank you.
are there any questions for Christy?
How do you do the animal one? Like
Pardon
the
me?
deer and the...
Yeah, these are from These are from antique book plates.
Okay.
So they're naturalists in usually the 18th, 19th century. Did these, and they're just wonderful. They were all originally hand painted, and I do quite a few of them. I brought the crab and just a handful of them so you can see what they're like. Oh, you know what I should mention, and I didn't? I do license a handful of artists, and so I did bring some of my Day of the Dead because they're so timely. And these are actually by two different artists. These are by a woman who is named Sunny Buick, and that is her real name. She's a Paris tattoo artist and a total rockabilly, interesting kind of gal. And then the other one is Marianne Luetta, who's actually a San Diego Latina artist.
So how do you physically get the images on a pillow? I mean...
Some things I scan. Some things, like when it gets into the portraits that are kind of fragile or kind of big, I'll take just a really good photograph of them. I have an artist on staff who actually does Photoshop and kind of works with the printing, getting it to a shape that it's to...
You can scan onto fabric?
No scan, we scan into the computer. We work with the image there. And then it goes to a separate computer that actually runs the printer.
And then how do you get on the pillow?
Prints on the fabric.
Right on the fabric.
Yep, prints directly on the fabric. And then we do all of our sewing, we embroider on the back of these. All of that's done with seamstresses here in Eugene, who are the best I've ever worked with.
Wow.
They're all made in Eugene.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, the fills are a 1090 feather down blend, and they're American made too. We've tried to be really aware as much as possible to make these a domestic, local, crafted product. So that's the deal.
Well, thank you so much, Christy, and I think we're going to head off pretty soon now to Pacific Rim. Unless there's more questions, good luck to you in your artistic endeavors. And yeah, all right. So, shall we move along? Yeah, you come up and take a look and feel them. I could feel that there's feathers in there, and just they feel like very comforting to the hand and to the head. So take a feel and take a look. There's a lot hidden behind there that you haven't gotten to see.
And then they're going.
Okay, here we go.
All right, we'll all do this.
Maybe we'll share.
Okay.
Hi everyone, welcome to First Friday Art Walk in downtown Eugene. I'm so glad you're all here. Thank you Urban Lumber for hosting us. It's such a lovely space. We'll give it a And we're so glad First Friday. My name is Leora Sponko. I'm the Executive Director of Lane Arts Council. We coordinate First Friday Art Walk thanks to the support of Jessica Watson. She pretty much runs the show. Thank you, Jessica, for all your work. Remember, First Friday is every first Friday of the month, rain or shine. So we will be going through the winter, rain or shine. Keep joining us. We'll stay warm inside the galleries. Really, the Art Walk was invented years ago as a way to bring awareness to the arts in downtown Eugene. We want you to get to know the galleries and venues that have our local artists, and we want you to enjoy the artwork and purchase artwork. So this is just a night for you to enjoy. Lane Arts Council also has other programs. We have arts education in schools, and we support artists and arts organizations through grants and workshops. So please visit our website and sign up on our newsletter to learn more about us. So tonight we'll be stopping at 5 different venues, and our hosts will lead the way. But first I want to thank our sponsor, Pacific University. They help make this Art Walk happen, so they're the sponsor for this month. So thank you, Pacific University. Also, I wanted to let you know of some special items in the Art Walk this evening. If you have an Art Walk guide, you'll see on the back there's a Women's Opportunity Worldwide International Art and Gift Show right down in the Broadway Commerce Center. So please check that out. It's featuring art from South African artists. And then if you go down the street, right where the old Saturday Market office is next to Davis's, Art Chicks is having a sale, and I was just in there. It's lovely, so do check that out this evening. And tonight at the end of the Art Walk, No Shame Eugene, every first Friday, it's hilarious. It's 8 o'clock in the Atrium building, so I want to make sure you knew about that. So we are really fortunate to have really special guest hosts tonight. Now we kind of copied Second Friday Art Walk in Springfield, because I think we did. They had, the mayors were hosting, when was that? That was a few months ago.
Yeah, during the summer.
During the summer.
Yes.
So we thought if they're going to have both mayors hosting in Springfield for their Second Friday Art Walk, we're going to do it here as well. We just thought we'd make that even. So really fortunate to have Mayor Kitty Piercy and Mayor Christine Lundberg, obviously Mayor Kitty Piercy of Eugene and Christine Lundberg of Springfield, hosting the whole night. So they'll be with you all night, guiding you through all the galleries and venues, and we'll be interviewing all the artists along the way. Mayor Kitty Piercy has been a strong supporter of the arts in downtown Eugene. When she first took office, she helped adopt the tagline that Eugene's the great city for the arts and outdoors, which we love to hear that. And it has the Mayor's Art Show and the Teen Mayor's Art Show, so it's lots of different offerings in the community that she supports and sponsors. And Mayor Christine Lundberg in Springfield also is a strong supporter of the arts, working on Main Street projects, supporter of the Second Friday Art Walk in Springfield, so do check that out. And you also should know there's quite a few murals in downtown Springfield that we're thinking about doing a bike tour of the murals in Springfield since we did Eugene this summer. So just letting you know about that. So I will turn it over to the mayors. Have a great night, and we will see you out on the Art Walk.
Well, good evening, everybody, and just want to, first of all, I have to do this job of welcoming my fellow mayor to Eugene. Let's give her a big hand and make her welcome. And then I wanted to start out by doing something kind of fun. So the first fun thing I have is hidden over here. This is a gift for you. I don't know how she's going to manage it, so that's another question. But it is from Voodoo Donuts. Oh. And it's a giant Lisa Simpson. So what we want to say about Lisa Simpson is she's a smart girl who wants to grow up to be a mayor.
Yes. And we want to give her that chance.
That's right. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that.
Yes.
And I know you don't want to take it with you everywhere, so we'll have to figure out how to do that. And the second thing, we just don't want you to ever, when you go back to Springfield, we don't want you to ever forget about Eugene. So here's Eugene.
Oh, very nice. That's beautiful.
wonderful. I have an office that needs another nice picture in it, so this is very nice. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So find some place for that till you can.
There we go.
Yeah. So this afternoon, this is one of those days about being mayor. First thing we had this morning, speaking of the arts, was the Brava breakfast for the arts. And then I left for 8:30 to go up to Portland and spent the day actually at the visiting the Greenpeace Rainbow Warrior boat and meeting with other mayors over the coal issue. So that's how I spent my day. And then I got back on the freeway thinking I was going to get home in 2 hours, and I got home in 3 hours. I just got off the freeway at 10 after 5. So I'm here. And I'm going to let Christine say a few things about herself to you, so go ahead.
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me over, and I think we should give Mayor Piercy a hand too for constant, for always being here with art and for being such a great mayor. And I appreciate everything you've given me. I want to also invite you over to Second Friday Art Walk because it's in conjunction with our farmers market, and the farmers market is every Friday, rain or shine, in a beautifully redone church. And so it's got great character. And also we've put schools downtown, so we have an arts and academic academy for high school kids, and now we're expanding that. So we've changed our downtown from one that people would go, I don't know, to one where your biggest challenge is maneuvering around high school kids all the time. But they have a nice campus setting. We've done a lot and are working real hard, and we appreciate the arts very much. I just had the mayor's art show there, so if you have a chance to come over and see the art show there at Emerald Art Center, that would be wonderful too, because there's some tremendous art that gets featured during that show. So again, I want to thank you very much for inviting me and for this wonderful art that's here.
So what I wanted to tell you today is that this is the perfect place to have Eugene and Springfield together to start off the First Friday Art Walk, because Urban Lumber, which is art all by itself here, it has art it shows in addition to the art that it makes in its urban furniture. But the furniture is actually made in Springfield and sold here, so it's a perfect combination. Yes, it is. So I think it's very, very appropriate. So tonight we are going to start here, and then we're going to go to the Jacobs Gallery at 6, and then we're going to go to MECHA, the Materials Exchange Center for Community Arts at 6:30. Then we're going to go over to Studio Tre Amici on 5th at 7. We're going to do a little hoofing here. And then we're going to end up at the gallery at the Watershed on Mill at 7:30. So that's the tour tonight. So you will get both good art and exercise. So the artist that is showing here tonight is Anthony Bernert. And come on up, Anthony. So he has botanical drawings, paintings here at this, which I haven't had a chance, well, it's right looking me in the eye here. So anyway, he's going to talk to you a little bit about his art, and then we will take any questions people have, right?
Sounds good.
Okay, here you go.
Okay. Well, first off, thanks for coming to the show. I thought I'd just give a little quick background on how I got started on these paintings. When I think of it, I guess my interest in plants started way back when I was about 17 or 18, and I got a macro lens on an old Nikon camera. And I was an avid hiker then, so I took a lot of photographs of wildflowers in the Columbia Gorge and the Cascade area. And that's kind of what got me very interested in plants, is as I started to photograph them and see that they're pretty fantastic when seen up close, because they reveal all these intricacies and symmetries and just marvelous patterns when you really look at them closely, things that are easily overlooked. And anyway, I guess that kind of extended into my painting later in life, is that I love to paint things, that, just modest things that you can find in your backyard, and paint them. And usually when I do, I'm surprised. You can pick up most anything, from the little maple tree helicopters to an acorn that falls, off a tree in your neighborhood. But when looked up close, there's often interesting features that are easily missed. So that's kind of what I like to focus on as a painter is just ordinary things found in nature, but seen up close, so I like to magnify them. And sometimes I like to have a low vantage point. That's something that's often interested me, is looking up at plants, which gives you a different perspective on them. So anyway, I've always been an avid plant collector, and painting them has really made me realize just how beautiful they really are. And I never tire of looking at them. I've been working with plants since I was 18 or 19, and now I'm nipping 50, so it's an endless supply of inspiration for me. But with that, are there any questions about the paintings or anything you might have?
I just wanted to observe that he said he tried to magnify small things, and I was just sort of struck by you've made us really look at things by the size of the paintings that the way that you magnify them in your own work.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. I do like working on a big scale, a little larger scale. Sometimes I have a little trouble painting small paint. When you work on a bigger scale, it's a lot freer. So they change a lot. A lot of these paintings have changed more times than I would have liked in the process. You'll be painting something, and where one part of it really works, another part doesn't. So you paint that out and you continue painting. But it's amazing the amount of changes that happen in a given painting. But that's part of the process, and I try to kind of work with that, because I find it's easier to kind of start a lot of bigger paintings by just scribbling. A lot of the bigger paintings are done with just diluting a lot of black and burnt umber, and then just making a lot of sweeping lines. And generally, if you look at that enough, you'll start to see images emerge, leaves and branching forms. And so that's how a lot of the big paintings kind of started, is like so much, they kind of start off looking more like a Jackson Pollock than where they end up. And I kind of like doing that because the forms can kind of suggest themselves to you, and I think the paintings end up being better for that when I kind of let it evolve more naturally. So that's why a lot of the paintings are a little bit bigger, but not always. Sometimes, like the other day, my wife just picked up an acorn she found, and I made that painting with them. So you just never know. The one good thing is I never have expenses for like models, because all my subjects are cheap and they're readily available. So it's fun to paint. If you don't do any painting or drawing, I'd sure recommend it, because it's a great activity to kind of teach you a lot about nature. I've learned a lot just by painting nature, I know. So
You have to look at it so much.
but you have to look at it a lot, yeah.
Any questions anybody has?
These oils also?
Yeah, they're all, yeah, actually every one of them here is oil. I do some work in acrylic, but I was just talking to another woman earlier today, and oil does have a different quality about it, and hard to put my finger on, but that quality of kind of looking more into the painting is definitely what interests me. So yeah, I think these are all oil, so. Did you have a question, ma'am?
I was just curious about this one, because it's very similar to that one, and I didn't know if you had this one here and which one came first.
Oh yeah, that's a painting I did some time ago, and actually I was always interested in a poet. I did that when I was quite a bit younger, and I was reading Wallace Stevens. I don't know if you are familiar with. He wrote a great poem called 13 Ways of Looking at a Blackbird, and it's 13 variations on a given theme in the poem. It's a beautiful poem. And anyway, I don't usually base a painting on a poem, but that time I did. And that's a really large painting, and I've kind of more or less given it to my mom, and she won't let it go, so it's at her house right now. But yeah, it is. And then I did kind of a variation on the idea in that painting, so.
Anybody else? Any other questions?
So thanks very much for coming.
All right. Oh, I'm supposed to remind you, my instruction is alcohol needs to stay indoors. So don't take it out on the street.
So, and I've just been told that we have about 5 minutes before we're going to take off. So there's time to look around and enjoy the art and talk to the artists some more.
Okay, my name's Dennis Galloway. Hi.
I can arrange it, but you I love
Turn around, dude. BMW, right there.